Okay, so as I was saying, we need to add this to the blank page that I either added or you're using the blank page in your packet. We're starting with absolute time today. Absolute time, which we did the very first day of school, not of school, the very first day of this chapter. Absolute time is basically a specific time or a specific time period. I had given the example of April 5th, 1983, a very important day in history, which you should all remember. That is my birthday. That is a specific time. No doubt it's got a month, a date, and a year. But another example of an absolute time is just saying April 1983. While it doesn't pin it down to a specific day in April, it is a specific month in 1983. So it's still an absolute time. You could still flip your calendars to that day, to that month, and still it's a specific time. So is saying 1983. Still a specific time period. Or just the 80s. That's a specific time period. That is an absolute time. So that is similar to on the reference table we've been working with all chapter. Yes, an absolute time is the millions of years. But so if I was talking about the earliest dinosaurs, I could say they were about 225 million years ago. That's an absolute time. Or I could say they're from the Triassic. That's a specific time. Or I could say the earliest dinosaurs showed up in the Mesozoic era, specific time. Or I could say the earliest dinosaurs showed up in the Paleozoic. So yes, they're all absolute times. They're varying like how long the time unit is, but they are all specific time units. So they're all absolute time. For absolute time, we use radioactive dating. To determine absolute time and or age, either way you want to think of it. And I do want to get the specific definition of radioactive dating in your notes here. So give me 1 second while I grab that. That's not English. Still not English. That's a good enough definition. Good enough. So we're going to use radioactive dating to determine absolute time. And with radioactive dating, there is a few keywords we need to know for radioactive dating. And the first one is a radioactive isotope, which is just an unstable element. When I say unstable, like if I was to talk about someone being unstable, what might you be thinking of that person? Okay, they don't have good balance. It's another thing that would describe unstable. Yep, so that, yep. What else? Unpredictable, yeah. Don't know, like, very reactive. So if a person's mental state was unstable, they could be very, very happy one moment, very, very depressed one moment, very, very sad another moment, angry another moment. You never know what you're going to get. Basically, they're not happy where they are and they try to change. Radioactive element. Oh, and so radioactive elements. You guys remember elements? Periodic table. We don't need to know much about them as long as you remember these are elements. So elements can come in different isotopes. Basically, there's different versions of, let's say, carbon. There's carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. They are all isotopes of each other. So they're still carbon, but they're different. And the radioactive isotopes are very unstable. They're unhappy where they are. And because they're unhappy, they try to change and they become something else. And that's going to be called the decay product. The decay product is what the isotope becomes. Whoa. So as I was saying, they're unhappy, so they change into something else that's more stable. So just like when you think of decay, if you're thinking of a decaying apple, you have a nice red, shiny, tasty, crispy, smelly, good apple. And when it decays, it turns into something completely different, a brown pile of mushy disgustingness that smells bad, tastes bad, feels bad. Well, there are radioactive elements, and I would like you to grab the front cover of your reference table. ESRT, page 1, top left. Got radioactive decay data. And on here, they list 4 radioactive elements. Carbon 14, potassium 40, uranium 238, and rubidium 87. These are the radioactive isotopes. And you can see in the next column over, it shows what they become. So carbon 14 becomes nitrogen 14. Sorry, I thought we had 2 more minutes. So we'll pick this up tomorrow. No homework tonight. And no